Hello, everybody.
Oh,
Hello.
Hey, Jim.
John.
Who are we missing, Missy?
I think Dan is the only one, but I just admitted to Dan. It didn't have a last name, so I'm assuming that's him.
Okay. And there he is.
It looks like we got everybody here. I see Joe Pelch was here.
I'm here.
Oh.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
We hear you.
You can't see me. I don't know what's wrong with my thing, but I'm here.
You're doing that on purpose.
I wish I knew how to do that on purpose.
Okay. Missy, do we have our friends from Indus on the line?
I was never given a name for who they were, so Indus, if you're there, let us know.
Okay, there I am.
There you go.
And it says John is still joining twice. I'm thinking that might be Carbone.
I don't see him, so it probably is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Jet Meta from Indus was going to join us.
Okay. No, I don't see that name.
Rebecca Glitch.
We are here with BME. Yep.
Oh, hey, Rebecca, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Peter Vargas is also with me here. We're trying to get our camera working.
Yes.
We'll get to you guys in the resolution portion of the meeting when we get to the seeker.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Still waiting on John?
Yeah, I have two Johns joining. Neither have a last name.
Can you hear me?
Yep. I can hear you, John. I can't see you, but I can hear you.
I don't know what hold on. Says my video's on, so.
Here, I can stop it.
Well, we can hear you, so that's close enough.
All right.
Okay, this meeting of the Common Council is called to order. Clerk, please call the roll.
Monticello?
Here.
Brown? Did we lose him? Brown? Okay. Allison?
Here.
Argentary?
Here.
Warner?
Here.
Cleveland? Here. Valentine? Valentine?
Here.
Passage?
Here.
Barger?
Here.
Carbone?
Here.
9 ayes, Your Honor.
Okay, I see Jeff on the screen. Well, I don't see his face, but I see his name in the box, so maybe he's having trouble.
He says he's getting no audio. Maybe he's on mute. I'm not sure.
Okay. Doesn't appear to be muted on my screen. Oh, I see him now.
Yeah.
That's 10 ayes, Your Honor.
Jeff, Can you hear us? Jeff, can you hear us?
Nick doesn't know.
No, we can't hear you. We can see you. Thumbs up if you can hear us. Guess not. Thumbs down. Hold on one second. Let's see.
In the meantime, if anybody does need closed captioning, just hit the closed captioning button on the bottom of the screen. And we do have closed captioning going on at this time.
How do you get rid of the bar on the bottom of the screen? Is there a way?
That I don't know.
Is
Hey,
the audio on your computer?
Missy,
Yeah,
Missy, who was the alderman that is not with us tonight?
everybody's here.
The councilman? Oh, I only saw 9 eyes on the caption.
John Carbone.
That's because I didn't get an eye from Jeff because he doesn't have any volume right now.
Okay. Actually, he told me that first. Imagine that. I'll keep up.
I'll put you on hold on one second. Okay, I've got Jeff on audio. Missy, say hello to Jeff.
Hello, Jeff. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Great.
Okay. All right, we've got all 10. One way or the other, right? Okay, anyway, I'll accept a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting. Motion by Dan Warner,
I'll make a motion.
second by Kevin Valentine. Any questions on the minutes? If not, call the roll.
Monticello?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Allison?
Yes.
Argentary?
Yes.
Warner?
Yes.
Cleveland?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Valentine?
Yes.
Passage?
Yes.
Schinnebarger?
Yes.
And Carbone?
yes,
And I.
Thank you. You also have the reports of officers in front of you. I'll accept a motion to approve those reports. Motion by Jessica Cleveland, second by Melissa Ponicello. Any questions on any of those reports? If not, call the roll.
Monticello?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Allison?
Yes.
Argentary?
Yes.
Warner?
Yes.
Cleveland?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Passage?
Yes.
Schinnebarger?
Yes.
Carbone?
yes.
And I, Your Honor.
Thank you. We have a pair of committee reports, and audit is up first.
The Honorable John J. Buckley, Mayor, members of the Common Council, ladies and gentlemen. Bills were audited and approved via email by Audit Committee members Jeff Brown, Jim Bassage, Richard Argentary, Kevin Valentine, and Audit Committee Chairman John Carbone. Bills audited and approved. Common Council, $190,341.51. Payroll of $71,523.78 for a total audit of $261,865.29. Respectfully submitted, John Carbone, Chairman, Audit Committee.
Thank you, John. And Jeff Brown is up next with Law and Ordinance.
All right. Mayor John Buckley, members of the Common Council, ladies and gentlemen. A meeting of the Law and Ordinance Committee was held Tuesday, October 27th at 6 p.m. via Zoom. In attendance were Alderman Valentine, Alderman Argentary, and Brown, along with Mayor Buckley. Discussed was public painting on city streets, sidewalks, and structures. The mayor remarked that there had been a rash of marking on city streets, but nothing in the code books to prohibit such offenses. The committee passed an ordinance stating, excuse me, no person unless authorized by the Board of Public Works shall paint, mark, write, print, or stencil any letters, figures, pictures, or characters of any kind upon any public sidewalk, pavement, or structure, whether for advertising, political purposes, or otherwise, except for people using chalk for temporary markings upon sidewalks. A violation of this section shall carry a fine of not less than $50 and no more than $250 for each offense. Motion by Valentine, second by Argentieri. With no other business, the committee was adjourned at 6:28. The motion by Valentine, second by Brown. Respectfully submitted, Jeff Brown, Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. Is there a motion to approve those reports? Motion by Rich Argentieri, second by Dan Warner. Any questions on any of those? If not,
Just a question on the painting. How
Yes.
have we handled graffiti past?
usually the police would handle it, but graffiti in the past has been more on buildings and vehicles and that sort of thing. But this year, for whatever reason, we've been seeing quite a bit on the streets. And we could talk about it in a little bit. We've got the resolution in front of us in the resolution portion, but we've seen it on, just off the top of my head, Jim, in the last two and a half months, we've seen it on 4 different streets that I can think of. And some of it is political, some of it is profanity, and in 2 separate instances, people had painted parking lines on city streets. And Jeff or John Allison, I don't know if you noticed that over on East Washington Street. I just noticed that the other week there.
I just noticed it the other day.
Yeah, so that
Somebody made their own spot?
Yeah.
So, but when we started to dig into it, there wasn't anything in the code that specifically addressed painting in the street itself. So we put our heads together and did a little research, and I want to thank Bud Burdett for helping do some of that research. But there's a lot of other cities do have things on the books. So we took one. I think it was from the city of Buffalo. They had one, and we kind of tweaked it and tailor-made it to fit our needs a little bit. But really, if there is a cause to paint in a roadway, that should go before the Board of Public Works. And that the DPW falls under that umbrella, so they should really make that determination. Obviously, political messages or obscenities have no room for that. But as far as parking lines, we've had a pair of those requests, or a pair of those instances with one request actually pending before the Board of Public Works right now. But I think it's just time to have something on the books to address those specifically. But you'll notice that caveat for chalk. So hopscotch is still okay. So if you want to draw rainbows and play hopscotch out on the sidewalks with the kids, that's still fine to do. Does that answer your question, Jim?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So save me from talking on this one during the resolution portion. So, okay, we have the motions. I think, right? We have the motions? Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, call the roll.
Monticello,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Allison,
Yes.
Argentieri,
Yes.
Warner,
Yes.
Cleveland,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Passage,
Yes.
Schinnebarger,
Yes.
oh,
Yes.
10 ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And I want to thank Jeff Brown and the Law and Ordinance Committee for acting on that quickly as well. That brings us to the resolution portion of the meeting. And the first resolution is to amend the sales tax agreement with the county.
Be it resolved.
Mayor, may I, before we start this?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we all know that being a councilman and having engaging in very involved careers and taking care of our respective wards, sometimes getting packets on Fridays aren't even enough to wrap our heads around things. So I got mine on Saturday. I'm hoping that doesn't become the norm. I just wanted to bring that to the table.
Missy, the packets were sent out Friday, correct?
They were brought to the police station on Friday. They were brought Friday after work because I was waiting on resolutions.
Anyone else receive theirs on Saturday?
I received
I
mine.
did.
I got mine Saturday.
I did.
Okay, so that's a hiccup with the PD then.
Yeah, and we also got one tonight about 2 hours before the meeting. So, and not that it's these are things that are beneficial, but at the same time, sometimes we really need to be edified on some of these decisions that we make, and not just rubber stamp. I feel like we do a lot of that. So, you know, I just need a little bit of time. I'd like to table the one that came out at 5 o'clock tonight, but it's going to pass without my decision anyway. So,
Well, Rich, I'll take blame for that, Rich. That was my boo-boo. I got busy doing other things, and Missy was waiting on me, and I'll fall on the sword for that. I think sometimes that 3 to 11 crew, they get so busy that they don't have time to go out and deliver things because they're busy doing other things, and it's not really a priority with them. The 7 to 3 guys, they've been doing that for so many years. They're good at it. You know what I mean? But I'll try to get the resolutions done a little quicker. There was some couple of things that popped up at the last minute that we had to deal with.
yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't want anyone to fall on the sword.
Well, that's what happened. So I'll take.
Yep. No, I don't want anybody to fall on the sword. I just want to feel comfortable. Joe, I don't want anyone to fall on the sword.
Okay, I understand.
I want to feel comfortable with what I'm trying to pass. That's all. So sometimes it's nice to have a little bit of time to do some legwork, you know, and these things come on us quick, you know, i.e. the fireman's ratification. So things like that, it just, it burdens me because it's challenging for a councilman with very involved careers, et cetera, et cetera. That's all on the record. I'm done.
All right, well, we'll try to get them out a little quicker next time, Rich. But you know, don't ever feel that you're a rubber stamp, because this is an open forum.
Yeah.
We have open dialogue. You know, during the meetings, you know, if there's any questions on resolutions, you can always reach out to myself or, you know, the city attorney anytime over the weekends. If you know, if you're having any, you know, issues with them or you know, trouble understanding any of them. So you know, we're just a phone call or text message away, and you know, we can go over them, you know, in advance if you'd like. But again, don't ever think that you're not here to be a rubber stamp. If any alderman thinks you're here to be a rubber stamp, you're wrong, because it's your job to vet these resolutions and what you're voting on. And you know, as mayor, I don't vote on these things, so that's up to you. So you know, we expect everyone to be up to speed, and you know, I try to do my best to explain what the resolutions are and the background of each one. And you know, I know the city attorney does as well. So.
All right, much appreciated. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so with that, the first resolution is the amended sales tax agreement.
Be it resolved by the Common Council of the City of Hornell, New York, do hereby amend the sales tax allocation agreement as follows. 4th, Steuben County shall set aside or allocate and distribute net collections from its 3% rate sales and use taxes as follows. A, in each year of this agreement, Steuben County shall set aside $15,700,000 for the county, and after such set aside shall then allocate and distribute the remainder of the net collections as follows. To the city of Corning, $2,200,000. To the city of Hornell, $2,150,000. And to the towns and villages within the county, $11,100,000. B, if the county's net collections in any year are insufficient to cover the allocations described in paragraph A of this section, the allocations shall each be reduced on a pro rata basis. C, if the county's net collections in a year exceed the allocations described in paragraph A of this section, the county shall set aside for county purposes 49% of such excess, and the county shall allocate 8% of such excess to the city of Corning, 7% to the city of Hornell, and 36% to the towns and villages in the county. A town or village's D, a town or village's share of the amounts that paragraph A, B, or C of this section require the county to allocate to the towns and villages in the county shall be determined on the basis of the ratio which the full valuation of real property in the town or villages bears to the aggregate full valuation of real property in all of the towns and villages in the county. E, for purposes of this section, the term year shall mean a 12-month period commencing March 1st and ending the last day of the following February.
Is there a motion? Motion by Melissa, second by Kevin Valentine. So you're probably wondering, why are we amending the sales tax agreement with the county? And the answer is because the comptroller's office wanted some language modified within it. Now, the sales tax agreement with the county, the terms of the agreement do not change. So the terms do not change. It doesn't affect the city one way or the other. It doesn't affect the city of Corning one way or the other. It's just a simple, there was certain verbiage that the comptroller's office suggested that they tweak, but it doesn't change the the function of the agreement. So it's really what it really is just kind of housekeeping, cleanup stuff. When we have audits, every once in a while we have to modify a policy or something that's on the books, and really that's all it is.
So Mayor, thank you. That's exactly one of my examples. When I saw amend, I knew something had changed, and those are the type of things that I would always like to be able to be privy to prior to sitting at a table with the council. But thank you. That clears that question up before I asked it.
Yep.
Basically, the program, the agreement remains the same. It's a little bit of a verbiage change.
Yes, and that's why the resolution you have, it only has a section that contains a change, but you'll notice the terms are exactly the same. They don't change one bit. So it doesn't impact us, but because the county was compelled to change it, the city of Corning and the city of Hornell both have to amend it through their councils.
Mayor, do they see that the county may fall into paragraph B this year?
What is your question, Jeff?
Does the county feel we may fall into subsection B there if the net collections in here are insufficient to cover the allocations with the COVID around?
It's, this year it's anyone's guess what's going to happen. Sales tax. I was going to talk about sales tax at the end of the meeting, but because we're talking about this resolution, I'll discuss it now. It's no secret the sales tax has been taking a hit this year. Throughout, and it's different from the county to the cities, because the county, the city of Hornell, and the city of Corning all have different fiscal years. So because of the reduction in sales tax, it affects us differently than it does the county, who goes by a calendar year. We're April 1. Corning, on the other hand, is July 1. So depending on where your fiscal year starts, sales tax will affect you differently. The county had the benefit of having pretty strong numbers at the beginning of the year, where it was on our tail end. So where does that leave us right now? Sales tax has been obviously been taking a hit, some huge numbers in decline. But the silver lining was September. September came roaring back to the tune of a 30% increase. And that was really, but if you go backwards over the 3 months or the 2 months prior to September, you're really treading water, because you're down about 30% in August and July. So overall, I haven't gotten the numbers from October yet, but at the last check, I think, and Michelle, you might, if you've seen other numbers, let me know. But I think we were trending around a 3 or 4% decline at last check, but I have not seen the October numbers. So what we're hoping for is a strong fourth quarter. we're hoping for a strong, holiday season, and hoping people will get out and shop, spend money, and ride that wave that we saw in September, and hopefully it'll carry on. But as you know, our fiscal year ends at the end of March, so what comes after the holidays is anyone's guess. And if you're paying attention to the COVID numbers have been increasing exponentially, and the numbers right now are a lot worse than they were in the spring. So, there's a lot of unknowns, and I wish I had the answers to all these questions. I wish I had a crystal ball, but it's really anyone's guess. If I had to predict, I'd say, we're probably going to see strong numbers through Christmas. But after that, I don't know. If we have to start shutting businesses down again, if the numbers keep rising, we're going to start sliding backwards again. So the answer to your question, Jeff, I'm really not sure, where we're going to be. But fingers crossed. And, that's why we keep harping on, people doing the right things and making smart choices, and social distancing and wearing masks, and all of the things that you're probably sick and tired of hearing are the things that we have to continue to do, because, it doesn't just affect the individual. It has a cumulative effect. We want to keep our schools open. We want to keep our businesses open. So what the one person or the small group does can affect a larger group, and ultimately, affect, a city, a county, and so on. So, those are all the things that we're looking at. But we're just keeping our fingers crossed that we don't slide backwards any more than as far as the COVID numbers, because they're directly related. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Hey, John, what
Yes, Jim.
did we anticipate or project to be the sales tax revenue for the budget?
A little over 12. I think it was a 12.3. I don't have it sitting in front of me, but 12.3,
It was.
Michelle?
12-3.
Yes.
12.3, yeah.
12.3?
Yes.
So, because I noticed in the legislature's article in the paper, they're projecting only a 4% drop. So they felt that that was a lining because of online sales. So we may be below what we projected.
We're hoping. So, we have that window. We've got that window, and we want to be somewhere in there. We don't want to go over 12, but again, the county has a different fiscal year. So when the county does their budget, they're going from January 1 on. So, when we enacted our budget, we were pretty much in line with COVID and the shutdowns, because we're April 1st. Then the dominoes started falling. So right out of the gate, we didn't have the benefit of having a January, a February, a March. Right out of the gate, things started closing down, and we started, the revenue started falling off. So, but the 800-pound gorilla is AIM funding and what the governor is going to ultimately do there. We're already seeing a 20% haircut or withholdings on our first AIM payment, which was earlier in the year. We've already seen it with CHIPS, PAVE New York, and winter recovery money, which all three of those are all the monies we receive from the state that go towards road repair. So we're already seeing a 20% reduction across the board with all of those state funding streams. And what the governor, in my opinion, what the governor's been doing is sitting back to see what the federal response will be, if there will be any stimulus or aid to local governments. I was just on a Zoom meeting with Congressman Reed on Friday afternoon, and I can tell you it didn't sound good. The inside baseball is there's talks of another round of stimulus, but the talks, at least right now, or at least what I'm hearing, those talks do not include aid to local governments. And that would be a shame, because local governments are taking it on the chin just as much as anyone. I think the federal government has done a pretty good job of covering and extending unemployment benefits, helping out businesses, large and small, helping out individuals with stimulus checks for married couples and individuals. But you look at where have they missed? Where have they ignored? It's been local governments. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but when you look at your water, when you look at your sewer, your police, your fire, your DPW, that's your cities and villages that provide that. That's not your state. That's not the federal government. That's your locals right here. And when you take those hits, there's only so much you can take before you start reducing the ability to provide those services. And I know I've said this before as well, but a 20% reduction in our AIM funding is about $300,000, $300,000 just gone like that if we don't get all our AIM funding in a year when we cannot afford to do that. So, I'm just imploring our state legislators and the governor's office, not to make those cuts permanent. And, I guess we'll wait and see. We'll be keeping a keen eye on what Albany does in the coming months. I know they're struggling as well, but we're all struggling. So we're just trying to find our way through it, and trying to take one day at a time, because really that's all you can do. Things change on a daily basis, and all of these things are tied together. I know that's a mouthful, probably more than you wanted to hear, right?
John, I got one more question on that sales tax allocation. We signed an agreement with the county for that. When is that up? When do we got to renegotiate this?
We just renegotiated it, I think it was last year.
I think so.
Yeah, it was last year we renegotiated, or re-upped it. So we basically extended it. It's worked out really well for the city of Hornell and the city of Corning. Mark Reichman, the city manager over in Corning, and we put our heads together over a year ago when we were looking at it, and we did an analysis, and both cities are actually a little further along than we would have been otherwise. So it's been very beneficial. I tried to convince the county to give us a little extra carrot for re-upping, but they know it's working for us too. So there wasn't really a good reason for them to give us another incentive, because we're already making out better than we would have otherwise.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, all right. Well, it's been a while, Bessie. We have the
motions.
We have the motions. Okay. Any other questions on that one? Good questions, by the way. If not, call the roll.
Monticello?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Allison?
Yes.
Argentary?
Yes.
Warner?
Yes.
Cleveland?
Yes.
Valentine?
Yes.
Passage?
Yes.
Schinnebarger?
Yes.
Carbone?
Yes.
And ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Now for some good news. The seeker for the Hampton Inn.
Resolved that in accordance with the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, the Common Council of the City of Hornell hereby designates itself to serve as lead agency to coordinate the environmental review of the Hampton Inn Hotel to be located at the Hornell Plaza, New York State Route 36. In its capacity of lead agency, the Common Council has caused to be prepared an environmental assessment of potential environmental impact of the above project. The Common Council hereby accepts environmental assessment of the project prepared by BME Associates. The Common Council further declares that, based on the environmental assessment which has been prepared, it finds that this activity is an unlisted action under seeker. The Council further finds that the project will result in no adverse impacts and therefore will not cause significant damages to the environment. Therefore, the Common Council has determined that an environmental impact statement will not be required.
Thank you, Missy. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by John Carbone, second by John Allison. So, as you're all aware, we're in the planning stages of the new Hampton Inn on the north end of the plaza, north of Wegmans, and we're very honored to have some of our friends and partners here with us tonight. And Rebecca, are you still here?
Yes, we're still here.
Okay, we're not boring you to death, I hope.
No, not at all.
Thanks for sticking around. Our friend Jet Meta from the Indus group, as you know, he built a Taco Bell here in the city, and and they've been great to work with over the years, and this is their next project. And so, Rebecca, do you want to just, kind of give us a little overview? I know you have some plans to meet with the planning board coming up and the planning and development committee, but again, thank you for you and your team joining us tonight. And if you want to just walk us through the project, it'd be great.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. So yeah, so Jeff's actually not on the call tonight, but he got tied up, but he's very excited to, get the approvals going with this and see it built. So we've submitted an application to the city for site plan review and approval. And so I think we have our meetings maybe close to Thanksgiving, but those are still being to be determined. So this is for a Hampton Inn hotel. It'll be 76 rooms, 4 stories. We'll also have, so the parcel, as you said, is just north of the Hornell Plaza, which has the 2 existing signalized entrances off of New York State Route 36. So our plaza, or our hotel will have 2 accesses from the northernmost access to the plaza. And we have parking on site for we've laid out around 80 spaces, as well as some accessible spaces. The plaza, so our parcel will also have a subdivision component. The existing parcel is around 15 acres, so we're going to be subdividing that into 2 lots, one for remaining lands, and then we'll have a 4-acre lot that Indus will, for the purpose of the proposed hotel. So I'll just give a rundown of the utilities and some landscaping lighting. So our utilities, we're all going to run from internally from the plaza. That's water and sewer. We'll have stormwater management on site, which will be kind of in the northern portion, and that'll all be designed to New York State DEC. We put together a landscaping and lighting plan. The lights will be LED dark sky compliant. We'll keep as much of the existing wooded area out there as we can for now, and supplement with additional shrubs and trees as Indus would like, as well as the hotel would like. We do have a 100-year floodplain out here, so we'll have to do, we'll have compensatory storage portions. So we'll provide all those calcs in our engineer's report. We will file an application for a letter of map revision. There are some, we have some wetlands on site as well, just 2 small pockets. So we'll have to go forward with, we'll go out and take a look at the delineation and work with the Army Corps for a final JD on that. And I think that's a good rundown. If there's any questions, just overall, I can answer any.
Becca, I have a question.
Yeah.
As this is the first time I'm seeing this impact study that I'm being asked to approve, all these certain line items that you have checked, no, all these studies have been confirmed, so they actually have already been done. Is that what this impact assessment in front of me means?
Yeah, so some of them actually, we get them from the EAF, the Environmental Resource Mapper. So, if it's not in a critically affected area, or that'll kind of check out on its own. But we've done the EAF per the maps available, and
so all the line items that are checked, there's backup studies to back all that up. So we're good to go on that, correct?
Yes, this is Peter Bars with BME. Yes, as part of the application, there was an engineer's report, and that included the stormwater management report. So that allowed us to check the boxes about stormwater management, and same thing about water supply, wastewater disposal. As Rebecca mentioned, the DEC website automatically checks historic resources, endangered species, endangered plants. So that self-populates. So to answer your question, yes, the information is provided to support the answers.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, perfect. I'm just looking at a basic questionnaire, so I just want to make sure the feasible studies back all this up. Thank you.
Mayor, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Just as a follow-up, and maybe I didn't quite catch that all correctly, are they developing more commercial space than just the 4-story building? Is that what I heard? Are they,
No.
for furniture businesses, is that something they're doing at the same time?
Not at this time, no. So it's just the 4-acre lot is being subdivided from a total of 15 acres. But it's just the 4-acre lot for the hotel at this time.
But just developing for the Hampton Inn itself then?
Correct.
Second question, from Route 36, is that changing at all, or is that the entrance, if you're coming from Hornell, you still have to drive through the whole plaza to get to the Hampton Inn, or is there going to be a new entrance somewhere else?
No new entrance.
Not yet, at least. So
Not yet, at least.
That's part of a larger discussion. Over the last couple of years, I've had meetings with our local DOT representatives, and they've been aggressively pursuing federal funding to redo the Route 36 corridor through Hornell. Basically from the city right up to Simmons and Rockwell, and they've been unsuccessful of obtaining that funding yet. But if they do, or hopefully when they do, that will be addressed along with numerous other items along that corridor. So the short answer is no, it's not included. But the longer answer is hopefully it will be someday. When that day comes, I don't know, but hopefully, in the next, maybe 5 years or so. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, but it's hard to say. As far as the rest of that plaza, there, even with the addition of the Hampton Inn, I think there's still room up there to develop even further, but that's, kind of another conversation for down the road. I do want to just thank Jet and his team and Rebecca and everyone. This is a great project. It's a great sign of life. It's a great sign of vibrancy when you have someone like a Hampton Inn that wants to come to your town. When Hampton Inns or any hotels or motels are looking to expand or build, they're not just blindly throwing pins at a map. There's a lot of study that goes into it. On the communities, retail, the business industry, there's a lot of growth here in the city of Hornell that's really worked hand in hand attracting the Hampton Inn. And this is a project we've been working on, seems like probably a couple of years now. I mean, John Carbone, you're on the IDA board with myself, and we've been talking about this for at least 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so just want to thank our partners at the IDA, Sean Hogan and Jim Griffin, and the rest of the board members for really kind of nurturing this along. And it's a good thing for Hornell. If it brings more people here, they're going to go to a restaurant. They're going to the plaza's right there. They're going to do a little shopping. They're going to get gas. So all of those things help us as well. And, we talked about sales tax earlier. One thing we didn't touch on is the job creation. And Rebecca, I don't know if you have any numbers on that. I think it was somewhere in the 25 to 30 range.
That seems right.
Yeah. So, there's the job creation component as well. So all arrows are pointing in the right direction, and we're very, very honored that they would select Hornell for this development.
So, Rebecca, with that being a wetland area, what's the plan? Is there going to have to be a lot of fill put in there, and that the elevation of the building will be a little bit higher than, come up to the road level maybe?
Yeah, so with the floodplain, we will have our building a minimum of 2 feet above kind of that floodplain elevation. I don't think it'll be quite at the road elevation. Similar, actually, similar to the road elevation. But yeah, so we will have to bring in fill there to make sure it all drains northwesterly.
So Becca, with that in mind, then we've remapped the diversion because obviously the water has to go somewhere once you raise up the primary lot.
Correct. Yeah. So it'll continue to go to the river there, the Canisteo River, to the west, northwest.
Yep.
Yep.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca, when we talked at the IDA meeting there, we had, I think it was back on October 9th, we discussed a little bit about a possible traffic issue, but I know you guys were still looking at that. You didn't think there was going to be an impact on traffic coming out of, the plaza, because you're only looking at maybe a 50 to 60% occupancy. So that'd be maybe 40 to 50 cars we're talking about?
So yeah, this is Peter Bars. That is correct. The hotel itself is not a large generator of traffic during the peak hours on the surrounding highway network. Primarily in the morning commuter peak, most hotel guests have left for the day. Because of the nature of the Hampton Inn clientele. They basically get up and they get on the road. Same thing, they definitely have very minimal impact, if any, on the PM peak hour, that 4 to 6 p.m., because typically their peak check-in time is after 8 o'clock. Because these people are road warriors, so to speak. So the point is, the hotel itself operates somewhat off-peak from a traffic standpoint to the surrounding traffic network, and then combine that with the average occupancy rate is around 60% on an average weekday. There just is not any concern with the traffic generation from the hotel, especially given the fact that it immediately enters the plaza driveways, and then it has 2 signalized points of access out to the state highway system.
Yeah. So we shouldn't have any issue with the state saying that we could create a traffic problem then.
No, and actually one thing that is being done at the request of New York State DOT is they are doing, there is going to be a traffic study done for the entire plaza and provided to New York State DOT, such that the only thing that may come up is they may adjust some signal timing, but it's not a result of the hotel that this is being done. It's something that we've been made aware of. That they are going to study those 2 existing intersections just to confirm that the signal timing is still the most efficient.
So Peter, and any inclement weather, the hotel itself will take care of its lot, but any access points will be taken care of by the state. Is that correct?
Well, so the hotel will have cross-access agreements with the plaza owner. So yes, the hotel itself is responsible for its own snow plowing and maintenance of their parking lots. And then the plaza owner obviously is responsible for keeping their lots and driveways clear. And then obviously the state's responsible for the highway.
Okay.
Thank you.
Questions? If not, call the roll.
Monticello,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Allison,
Yes.
Argentary,
Yes.
Warner,
Yes.
Cleveland,
Yes.
Valentine, Passage,
Yes.
Sheena Barger,
Yes.
Carbone.
Yes.
10 ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Rebecca, do you have a time frame, or do you have dates set where you're meeting with the planning board?
I talked to Heather, and it was maybe she was kind of tentative on the 24th. So I think that's a Tuesday of next week of
Okay.
Thanksgiving week. Yeah, but she was kind of making sure there was going to be a quorum, and if not, then the following week or somewhere. Following Tuesday. Yep.
Okay, and John Carbone, you might want to have a meeting right after that with P&D as well.
Yeah.
I already,
Yep, I think Heather was.
Okay.
I just copied Sean and Griff that and Heather to say soon as the planning board has a meeting date, I'll schedule a P&D meeting.
Very good. Excellent.
Perfect. Thank you.
Well, we'd like to thank our guests for joining in tonight and providing us with that information. Look forward to working with you until this project is, until we get a shovel in the ground. Do we have any sort of time frame or idea of when we want to actually start moving dirt?
Yeah, actually, in discussions with Jet as recently as a week ago, they are definitely looking at spring construction. Our marching orders have been to get this approved as quickly as possible so he can get his permits in place. And yeah, he's looking at spring construction as his goal.
Excellent. Very good. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
you,
you.
everybody. Have a nice evening.
You too. Okay, the next resolution is public painting on city streets.
Whereas the Law and Ordinance Committee for the City of Hornell has contacted the Common Council and asked to have Code 267-1 amended to include Section C as provided below. And whereas the Common Council for the City of Hornell finds that it is in the best interest of the citizens of the City of Hornell to amend the same, now therefore let it be resolved that Code 267-1C of the City Code of the City of Hornell is hereby added as follows. No person, unless authorized by the Board of Public Works, shall paint, mark, write, print, or stencil any letters, figures, pictures, or characters of any kind upon any public sidewalk, pavement, or structure, whether for advertising, political purpose, or otherwise, except for people using chalk for temporary markings upon sidewalks. A violation of this section shall carry a fine of not less than $50 and no more than $250 for each offense. This act shall take effect immediately.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
By Kevin Valentine, second by Rich Argentieri. Well, I've already discussed this one in great detail. Are there any further questions on it? If not,
John, you said, or Mayor, you said one of the political ones or something that happened early on was cleaned up. Are we going to do anything about the parking, the two parking situations? We're going to leave them as is, or are they going to be? I don't know. It would take some acetone or whatever it would take to clean those up. But what are the plans with the ones that have occurred?
yeah. What I'll do is I'll have a conversation with Mitch Cornish and the DPW about it. They've been swamped lately, and I hate bogging them down with little things like that, unless we really need to. But when we get caught up on all the other projects, we'll try to figure out what we can actually do about that. But yeah, there's two separate streets, and as Brownie saw the other day, there's another one over on East Washington. Basically did the same thing. Rich is over on Jane. So, but
Okay.
I'll have a talk with Mitch and Rob over in DPW, see what they can do. I know there's one area where they took paint and just kind of went over it, but that was profanity. So that's a little bit different than just simple lines. But
no, it's not a drop dead situation by any means, Mayor. I just want to.
I'll circle back with you though, Rich, when I talk to him about it.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Yep.
All right, buddy.
Any other questions? We got a question in John Allison's home. Okay. Call the roll.
Monticello,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Allison,
Yes.
Argenteri,
Yes.
Warner,
Yes.
Cleveland,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Bassett,
Yes.
Barger,
Yes.
Carbone.
Yes.
10 ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you. And the next resolution is that late addition in about traffic diversion program. Missy, you can read it. The council can decide whether or not they want to table it, but I'll let Joe Pelch give the explanation on that one. But go ahead and read the resolution.
You do have to waive the agenda first.
Oh, waive the agenda. Is there a motion to waive the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by John Carbone, second by Jim Bassage.
Thank you.
Any questions on that? Not, call the roll.
Ponticello,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Allison,
Yes.
Argentary,
Yes.
Warner,
Yes.
Cleveland,
Yes.
Valentine. Valentine?
Yes.
All right. Bassage,
Yes.
Barger,
Yes.
and Carbone.
Yes.
That's 10 ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you. So Joe, you want to give the background on this one?
Sure, Mayor, I'd love to. Basically, what the county is asking us to do is enter into an agreement with them whereby if anybody gets a qualifying traffic ticket in the city of Hornell, I'm going to emphasize DWIs, driving under the influence of drugs, AUO, driving with a suspended license do not qualify. But if you get a simple speeding ticket, you can sign up and do a diversion program where you take a point reduction course, pay some money to the county, and the case then gets dismissed. The money that's generated then is split between the county and the local municipality, whether it be a town, a village, or whatever. Currently, when a speeding ticket is written and prosecuted, I think the city of Hornell gets, and Michelle, correct me if I'm wrong, is it $5 or $10? You know, Michelle?
I don't know the exact percent. The court just gives us the total each month. They don't give us a breakdown.
Right, but it's a very small percentage.
It's very
Mostly,
Yes.
what?
It's very small, yes.
And the money, most of the money goes to the state. Well, with this traffic diversion program, because the money is paid directly into the county, and they have a company that does this, the money is then split among the county and the municipalities. And I expect that if we approve this, we're going to get a very large increase in revenue into our budget. Now, we had this program probably 5 or 6 years ago for a few years. Did we have it when you were there, Michelle?
We didn't receive a large amount of revenue if we did. So I can't answer that if we did or not.
Well, the problem we have in the city is we don't write as many traffic tickets as, say, Avoca, where there's state police on the highway 24/7. And Avoca pretty much balances their budget through this program. But why send the money to the state as opposed to sending it to the city? So I urge that we pass this program. I mean, it's in effect no matter what. Its question is, are we going to get any money or not?
Hey, Joe, are these moving violations misdemeanor and lower?
Well, they are mostly speeding tickets and things that they have points.
No parking, no parking stuff? Or?
No, the parking we do under a separate program.
Okay.
But I really liken the speeding tickets more as a revenue issue for the state of New York as opposed to a enforcement issue. I think the state of New York doesn't care if you're speeding. They want your money.
They want the money, right?
They want your money. It's a revenue issue. And it really is. And I know Brooks Baker feels the same way. I mean, why give the money to the state when it can go to the city?
Allegheny County has been doing that quite a while, I believe.
Many of the counties have, Dan, and what happened was we had a county attorney at one time and we used to do it in Steuben, and then we had a county attorney who formed the opinion, which I always felt was wrong, that it was improper to do that. Broome County does this, Chemung County does this. Most of the counties upstate are doing this. So we're getting back into the game is basically what's happening.
I had the privilege of participating in that program.
And how was your experience?
Pretty good. It worked out good.
Yeah. Yeah, people take they take this course, they save 10%. They save 10% on their insurance because they've taken this point reduction course. The case gets dismissed, they don't have any points. They pay a penalty because they're paying, instead of a fine, they're paying a fee to join the program. So I think it's a win-win for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So Dan's not only a client, he's the club president.
That's right.
Our club for men.
Joe, did you mention this is could affect people who's gotten a DWI, DUAI?
No, typically, if you have that on your record, they typically will not let you in to the diversion, but that can be waived over the district attorney's office. But if you're arrested for a DWI, you certainly aren't going to get in on a DWI for a diversion. You're going to get in on a speeding ticket, a stop sign. There can't be an accident.
Failed to keep right. Yeah.
Failed to keep right. There can't be an accident where there's a personal injury. You can't be in the program within the previous 18 months. You can't have it. You have to have a clean driver's license the previous 18 months. So there are restrictions. It's not a rubber stamp, but for some people, they don't want to pay. Their insurance goes up, and this way it goes down, and can generate some money locally.
Well, any program that sends money to the city instead of the state, instead of Albany, that's my stamp of approval.
Well, I agree with you, and I'm wearing two hats here as assistant district attorney.
You travel somewhere to go do this.
Pardon?
Is this online, this diversion program, or do you have to go to, say, like Bath?
You have two options. You can go to a Saturday day course, or you can do it online. That's up to the person.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I don't know. Dan, where did you do yours?
I had to go to Belmont.
His room. Okay.
I went to Belmont for it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a 6-hour course.
Right. So it's not, the people aren't getting away with anything, actually, but they're just saving money. And why give money to the state?
I don't think it can hurt us.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
I'd like to find out more about it first, though, before I start voting on that. There's more I'd like to know.
What would you like to know?
Well, you guys, if you look at, you can.
I want to look into the program a little bit more than just the email that was sent to me and your presentation, Joe, though I appreciate it. It's just something I saw today, and I'd like to look into it a little bit more before I vote on it tonight.
Well, we can table it, Jeff, but the county's going to do it. The DA's office is doing it. So the question is, do we get any of the money or don't we? Because you're not approving whether or not they're going to do this. They're already doing it. What you're approving is, do we share in the money?
What's the time frame on their implementing?
They've already implemented.
Oh, do we have a window?
Pardon?
Do we have a window of time we have to approve it by? I mean, it has to be approved tonight?
No, it doesn't. You can take all the time you want, but I'm not sure that you're going to get, the DA's office is doing this. They've already implemented it, and it's up and running. The question is, do you want any of the money or not?
Joe, I
don't think tabling this for a month so you can get some answers is going to be critical one way or the other. If you feel more comfortable, table it. It's no big deal.
Let me, Jeff and Rich, let me just share. If you look at the activity report from the Hornell Police Department, last year, I'm using last year-to-date numbers. I guess what I'm calling point violations. We had 37 speeding, 19 traffic signals, which is that's a point violation, right, Joe?
Correct.
And disobeying a stop sign is a point violation.
Correct.
So there's 76 there. It doesn't apply to like unlicensed operation or unregistered, right?
Correct.
All right, so we had about 76 violations year to date. We're about halfway through. So maybe as a whole year goes by, we got 150 of those violations.
You might get $3,000 or $4,000 a year, I'm guessing.
Well, if we're only getting $5 or $10 right now, that we're only getting $1,500. If you're saying we're going to get 4,000, I think it's a no-brainer.
I'm not sure what the number is. It's 30% of what they bring in, and I think it costs about $400 to get into the program.
Hey, John, understand. I only mentioned this just receiving things late. I knew this particular resolution was innocuous. I wasn't actually having this in regard. So my question to Joe is, in the city proper, is that the only place we'll see it, or Hornellsville too, or where would that money go?
Well, no, that money goes to the town of Hornellsville. Now, if you look at the corridor, Interstate 99 out of Painted Post south to the New York to the Pennsylvania border, they're generating over $100 and some thousand a year for that town, because all the tickets they're written there, because there's a state police, they're running traffic there. Avoca pretty much balances their budget for this, because they've got those guys sitting on 390 in that area 24/7 writing speeding tickets. Our local police are busy doing domestics, they're busy doing drug things, they're busy doing other things than running traffic. So we're going to generate less. But as I say, we could table this for a month or two, but the program's in place already, and either we get the money or we don't.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's just the way
really,
it is.
Joe, there's really
I
no
agree.
downside that I see to doing this.
There's no downside.
I mean, to me, it's really a no-brainer. But I mean, it's a council decision.
No.
Whether you want to table it or act on it is the council decision.
Well,
Right.
My question, Joe, just I think I'm understanding you correctly. It is the council is not deciding whether we participate or the county is participating in this diversion program. We're deciding whether we want the revenue from this.
Correct.
That seems like an easy decision.
Correct.
Yeah, absolutely. Understand, guys. Understand. When I mentioned about receiving things late, again, this is no reflection or no impact on the taxpayers at all. I wasn't talking about things in particular. I was talking about overall. So I don't want anybody to misinterpret my words.
No, we're
this
not.
is
We're
definitely
not.
beneficial.
And the thing of it is, if we don't do it, they're still going to do it. I hate to say that.
Absolutely, I agree.
And the question is, do we agree to take 30% or do we agree to take 0?
So if we
Pretty easy
table
one.
it,
No-brainer.
we lose
That'd be
all the
fair.
revenue for this month, correct?
I believe, I'm not sure, Jessica, I can't swear to that, but if we're not in, we're not getting any money. I do know that.
Okay.
And it may
Melissa,
not,
did you have a question? Melissa,
No, I was
you
gonna
have a
make a
question?
motion. No, I was gonna make a motion that
Oh.
go. Let's do it.
You want me to read the resolution, Mayor?
We haven't read the resolution yet?
We haven't read.
Melissa did.
All right, from now on, we read the resolution, get the motions, and we discuss.
I read the resolution.
All right, go ahead, Missy. Read the resolution.
Whereas the County of Steuben has initiated a traffic diversion program within the County of Steuben, and whereas the County of Steuben wishes to enter into an intermunicipal cooperation agreement between the City of Hornell and the County of Steuben regarding revenue sharing for monies generated as a result of said diversion program, and whereas the Common Council for the City of Hornell believes it is in the best interest of the City of Hornell to enter into such an agreement, now therefore it is hereby resolved that the mayor for the City of Hornell is hereby authorized to execute the intermunicipal cooperation agreement, which is attached here to and made part hereof as if fully set forth.
Now I'll take that motion from Melissa.
Thank you.
Motion by Melissa, second by Kevin. Are there any more questions? Going once, going twice. Call the roll.
Monticello,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Allison,
Yes.
Argentary,
Yes.
Warner,
Yes.
Cleveland,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Passage,
Yes.
Schinnebarger,
Yes.
Carbone,
Yeah.
and eyes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes. We don't have any petitions, but we do have claims.
Now therefore be it resolved that claims in the amount of $261,865.29 as audited by the Audit Committee of the Common Council of the City of Hornell are approved and authorized, paid as audited. Common Council, $190,341.51. Payroll, $71,523.78, for a total of $261,865.29.
Thank you.
I'll
Is
make
there
a motion.
Motion by John Carbone, second by?
Second.
Second by?
Second.
Oh, I got 3 seconds. Hold on. I saw John Allison first. Okay, we've got the motions. Any questions? Call the roll.
Monticello,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Allison,
Yes.
Argentary,
Yes.
Warner,
Yes.
Cleveland,
Yes.
Valentine, Passage,
Yes.
Schinnebarger,
Yes.
Carbone.
Yes.
Ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you. In the miscellaneous section, I actually did have a handful of things, but we already covered most of them. We already talked about sales tax, federal stimulus. I'm just going to leave it with everyone. Enjoy your Thanksgiving, which is coming up. I can't believe it's almost here. And if you're wondering, girls varsity soccer won tonight, 4-1. So good for the Lady Raiders. And this was a semifinal, so they'll go on to the final. So we'll be rooting for them. I believe that's Wednesday night. So that's all I have. One last little nugget. The East Main Street Bridge is getting ever so close, and I was told it's just a matter of days. I don't know which day, but it's just a matter of days. So we've gone from months to weeks to days. So when it gets down to hours, I'll send an email blast out to you.
I don't want to re-quote on Mitch on his date that he gave us 2 months back.
That's been a process up there, Rich. But
I know.
All right. Well, anyway, everyone, enjoy your Thanksgiving and stay safe out there.
You as well, Mayor.
Thank you.
Motion.
Yeah.
Who's gonna?
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Motion to adjourn.
Oh, geez. See, I'm off my game here. Holy cow. Glad someone's paying attention. All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Yes,
Motion by Kevin. Look at all the hands go up now. Holy cow. Second by
Wait, I
Jessica.
want to talk some more.
All right. Well, you can vote no on this. We'll just keep going. We got the unlimited Zoom, so we don't run out at 40 minutes.
I never have the majority.
Majority of one, right?
That's right. I'm an island.
Okay. So we got the motions. Any questions? Any questions, Rich?
No. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. God bless.
Call the roll.
Monticello,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Allison,
Yes.
Argentary,
Yes.
Warner,
Yes.
Cleveland,
Yes.
Valentine,
Yes.
Passage,
Yes.
Schinnebarger,
Yes.
Carbone.
Yes.
And ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Have a great night. We
Good
are
night.
adjourned.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Yeah.
folks.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.